against Bitcoin.
It's going up forever.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yo, welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live, your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, core breaking news, culture, matic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. We got a lot of comments starting off basically saying clickbait title, ugh. Someone else said FUD. No, not at all. Not at all. Especially if you guys, Denver Hoddle said FUD. No, not at all. If you guys have been tuned into this channel, we've been like surgically covering all the moves by the Biden administration, the moves by the anti-Bitcoin Senator Elizabeth Warren. And yeah, they don't like Bitcoin. They don't want it to succeed. Bitcoin succeeding would mean that they would lose their privilege of being able to create money for free that everyone else has to work for. I think the worst thing that Bitcoiners could do is think that Bitcoin's going to win by default, right? This is an adoption race. This is about getting the people around you, right, to understand and to wake up to the fact that it's not left versus right. It is green, the party of green versus the party of orange, the party of state currency, the party of central bank digital currencies, the party of inflation, the party of nihilism, the party of slavery versus the party of Bitcoin versus the party of orange versus the party of freedom, Bitcoin, prosperity, opportunity, optimism. So yeah, it's not BS at all. And today we're going to cover the fact that Senator Elizabeth Warren's bill, so-called the Digital Assets Anti-Money Laundering Act, got 9 new sponsors. This is a bipartisan bill. This is a Republican and Democrat bill that's being pushed in Congress, in the Senate specifically, that Pierre Richard would literally said, this is not simply Bitcoin or Nico's wording. He literally tweeted, if passed, this bill would ban Bitcoin mining in the United States. And I would even make the case that the bill would basically ban Bitcoin in the United States. And that's exactly what the bill was designed to do. Make no mistake. So yeah, you can push it aside and say this is FUD, this is bullshit, this is a clickbait title. This is the separation of money and state. Take it seriously. There's a lot of vested interest that it's not convenient for them if Bitcoin wins. They want you under a central bank digital currency. They want to control what you think and what you say and what you do. And one of the most effective mechanisms to do that is by controlling money. If you control the money, you control the incentive structure. That's exactly what the whole social credit system is all about, right, in China. So, if you talk against the state, they take a percentage of your money right out of your paycheck. They don't allow you to travel. They don't allow you to sign your kids up to certain schools. That is a forcing function. And that is no longer theoretical. This has happened in the West already. I feel like people have just forgotten about the Canadian truckers protest. They literally froze people's bank accounts because they were protesting the government because of the lockdowns. How, if you agree with the protest or not, this is something that is becoming more and more common. I don't agree with your speech. We're going to cut off your money. Look at what happened to Russell Brand. Extremely popular independent content creator that's going against the establishment legacy corporate media narrative, and they demonetized his YouTube. Like, you could take it lightly and you could say, look, we're playing a game and memes and kumbaya, but this is serious. This is Bitcoin or slavery, or her beauty on says it. Bitcoin or death. I truly believe that. So yeah, make all the jokes you want. Say this is a FUD, this is a clickbait title. We are dead serious. We have the receipts. We will literally cover it for you today. When you read the text of the bill, they are not messing around. This is no joke. So yeah, we're going to cover all that today. And we also have a very special guest. Not Sean Harris, the big Sean Harris, and he's part of the Meme Factory. Also throwing the halving party that's coming up in El Salvador. How you doing, Sean? Welcome to Simply.
Hey, what's up, Nico? I'm doing great, man. Nice rant already to get it going. I got the juices flowing, and I'm happy to be here with, in my opinion, the two hardest working men in Bitcoin, Nico
Appreciate
and
it, man.
Opti. I'm happy.
Appreciate it. Oh, you spoke of two hardest working men. Opti, how you doing, brother? Are you?
Yeah, dude, I'm doing wonderful. This is a great day. And, Sean got our conversation, our prep talk before the show. And I absolutely love Big Sean Harris. This guy's a winner. He's got that winning mentality. I brought him on in the past to talk about that winning mentality. I might actually, pick his brain a little bit on that one after, or kind of towards the end of the culture. But we're going to be talking about having party today. So, we want to see you guys down in El Salvador. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, man, crazy stuff. I did see that these, what was it, nine more politicians got added to it. And actually, I'm gonna save my pessimist feels take for the news story. But this stuff excites me. This is the stuff I like to see. It's almost like our politicians just constantly take cues from China and then don't realize that they're gonna get wrecked. But we'll save that for later, Nico. We'll save that for later.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude, it's crazy, dude. It's crazy, but this is the separation of money and state. That this is what it's all about. This is what literally Bitcoin was invented for. Remember the theories and that were put up by the book, The Sovereign Individual, right? Basically predicting that as we head into the, information age, so to speak, and governments lose their monopoly on money, they're going to become more and more desperate as more and more people choose to opt out of state money. And as Tucker said, the episode that he did before his interview with Javi Milei, which has a very good chance at winning the presidency in Argentina, he literally said that politicians and governments get a tremendous amount of power from having this godlike power of being able to create money for free that everyone else has to work for. Also, before we jump into the numbers, I want to give a shout out to the rest of the Simply team, which bust their asses off too. So there's so many: Rustin, Dell, John, Sophie, Zach, Wine, Opti, help me here. There's so many.
Jax,
Sartak, Jax. We got a new Simply Bitcoin member from India as well. Who else? Opti? Weinicus, Zemo.
Zemo team.
Megan Isa. Wow, yeah. So
Sophie.
yeah, Sophie's in
Yeah,
there.
we got like 12 people.
I'll
I'll write them all down now. I think we covered them all.
Mike. Mike. So it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us that make this happen.
It's not just us. We're just the pretty faces.
So there's a lot of stuff
you're
going
the
on.
faces, not the pretty faces.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, everybody. Let's jump straight into numbers. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's check it out.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. All right, guys, I literally made it super easy for you guys. Don't put yourself in a position where you have to explain to your grandchildren why you lost your generational wealth because you stored it on paper. Store it on titanium. Scan the QR code on your screen. Use promo code SIMPLY. Get 15% off anything on the Stamp Seed website. Anyways, at the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is 27,350. Sats per dollar, 3,656. Block height, 808,456. blocks to having 31,554, having estimate April 21st, 2024, total Lightning Network capacity, 4,816 Bitcoin capacity value, 131 million US dollars, realized monetary inflation, 1.75%, the market capitalization of Bitcoin, $533 billion with the B, Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 4.12%. I say this every single day, but the realized monetary inflation is my favorite statistic because it continues to embarrass fiat currencies, and that number is going to go down forever. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, that number is going to continue to go up forever. Once it breaks 100 or 100% plus, that is going to feel very, very good. And at that point alone, Peter Schiff is going to realize he was wrong the entire time. Anyways,
No, he won't.
gold is still, I don't, bro. I mean, at that point, I feel like the numbers are just right up in your face, right up in your grill. Anyways, on the more libertarian angle, because we are kind of Bitcoiners at the end of the day, you know, we believe in small government to say the least. Here is Ayn Rand book. She is the author of the book Atlas Shrugged, which I highly, highly recommend to anyone. And she gets asked a very simple question: how do we build roads without government forced taxation? Let's see what she has to say.
How do we build roads, sanitation facilities, hospitals, schools? If the government is not permitted to force, if you will, by vote, taxation, use your word, we have to depend upon the trickle-down theory, upon the noblesse oblige, the largesse.
I will answer you by asking you a question. Who pays for all those things?
All of us pay for these things.
When you admit that you want to take money by force from someone and ask me how are we going to build hospitals or roads, you admit that someone is producing the money, the wealth that will make those roads possible. Now you have no right to tell the man who produced the wealth in what way you want him to spend it. If you need his money, you can obtain it only by his voluntary consent.
And you believe in the eventual goodwill of all human beings, or at least that top echelon of human beings, whom you believe will give willingly.
No goodwill is necessary, only self-interest.
Only
I believe in private roads, private post offices, private schools.
When industry breaks down momentarily, and there is unemployment, mass unemployment, we should not be permitted to get unemployment insurance. Social security we do not need. Will depend upon the self-interest of these enlightened industrialists whom you so admire to take care of things when the economy needs a little lubrication and there are millions of people out of work.
Study economics. A free economy will not break down. All depressions are caused by government interference. And the cure is always offered so far to take more of the poisons that caused the disaster. Depressions are not a result of a free economy.
Okay, so, and let's talk about that. So first of all, the self-interest aspect of that. So I want to focus on that first, okay? Bitcoin is 100%. It's a decentralized network, right? It's a money, the decentralized monetary network is completely run 100% by self-interest. I'm running my own Bitcoin node because I don't want to trust someone else's. I recommend the Start9. It's fucking badass. That's what I run myself. But you could also build one, whatever floats your boat. But that's the whole point, right? I run my own node because I don't want to trust someone else's copy of the blockchain. I don't want my transactions doxed. I don't want my balance doxed. So I run my own node. I don't need to do that, but I do it out of self-interest. When the CCP banned Bitcoin miners within their borders and the hash rate dropped by 50%, I believe that's the reason we didn't hit 100K last time, by the way. Those miners had to sell Bitcoin so that they can relocate to a friendlier jurisdiction. There was no central authority telling them to do so. They did it out of incentive. Fiat money works through coercion. They coerce you to using a money that steals from you. So Bitcoin itself is an example of what she just talked about. a monetary network that is running by itself by people acting out of their own self-interest. Now, what's beautiful about Bitcoin is that by me acting in my own self-interest, even let's talk about Simply Bitcoin. We show up every single day. We talk about Bitcoin. We're passionate about Bitcoin. Obviously, it helps, but it helps everyone else too. It helps the network. That's the whole point, right? Is that you watching your back in a system with aligned incentives helps everyone else. And again, I'm going to mention this, and maybe it's too early to say this, but I do not believe that El Salvador, which is the first country that made Bitcoin legal tender, the person that was elected into office is actually doing the things that he said he was going to do. Is that a coincidence that the first society that fixed the base layer, that made the base layer sound, the president, the person that got elected, is doing the things that he was supposed to be doing if he got elected, right? So I completely agree with that. And now there is another thing that she said, which was really interesting to me as well, which is the idea that government, every time that they've been involved, they've made the depressions worse. Because that was one of the arguments that the Biden administration used in the presidential economic report, where they dedicated 20 entire pages making the case as to why central banking is necessary, why a CBDC is a good idea, and why cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, will never work because you need a state, you need a sovereign in order for money to work. Okay. The Great Depression, the 2008 financial crisis, and all the other things that happened in between happened under fucking central banking. All of that happened when there was a central bank. The worst depressions and recessions in United States history happened under a central bank. That was the exact reason, and that was the pitch that was given to the American public as to why we needed central banking. It made things worse. And if you're a Gen Zer, if you're a millennial, they're literally telling you at this point at the Cantillionaire conference, you'll own nothing and be happy. They're literally telling you, they're saying the quiet part out loud. It's gotten to that point. So when people were saying in the beginning, oh, this is FUD. Oh, this is, this is a clickbait title. No, this is literally what you are fighting for. You are fighting for, and this isn't a kinetic fight. This is more information warfare. By the way, really interesting clip. We'll play it for you guys tomorrow. The UN lady is starting to call it information warfare too, and why we have to censor more and more. We'll play you guys that clip tomorrow. But this is information warfare. Make no mistake. This is about winning over the hearts and minds of individuals to adopt a currency that doesn't steal from them. A currency that helps everyone else, right? What they want you using is a currency that helps them, that helps the state, right? That's fundamentally what it is. So yeah, man, super, super based, definitely way before her time. I think that the world that Ayn Rand envisioned, or the world that Ron Paul envisioned, right? I do not think that those worlds would be possible without Bitcoin. The gold standard failed. It was co-opted. Okay. And I know a lot of gold bugs hate that. I personally love gold. Like if there's a gold bar, I love holding it in my hand and it's dope, but it's extremely limited because of its physical characteristics. And I think that's where Bitcoin will shine. That's where Bitcoin will succeed where gold failed, right? The ability for an individual to theoretically store millions, billions or trillions of dollars by writing down 12 words or 24 words. And if you're in a pickle, literally you can memorize them, fundamentally changes the balance of power between the individual and the state. And I think over the long term, that's a forcing function. So anyways, that's my take. Super, super badass author. Her work is incredible. But I just got to say, I think it was before her time. Like this whole thing was before her time. She started this. We are standing on the shoulders of fucking giants. Okay. And it's up to us. It's up to us, right? We were blessed to be born in this generation at this moment in time. It's in your hands. Are you going to let it fail? Are you going to let it slip through your fingers? Are you going to let your children grow up in a future where they're fucking enslaved? That's the question I have for you guys. Anyways, Opti, what's your take?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you played this because constantly you hear the same rebuttal to like Bitcoin, or if you separate money from state, what's going to happen? Who's going to build my roads? Like we constantly get this same. Just it always gets rolled out, and of course Ayn Rand just thoroughly destroys it, and you just love to see it, and it's kind of what we always say, and it's back to the sovereign individual as well, is that once you get on the Bitcoin standard, governments will have to treat their citizens like customers, and they will have to provide, instead of saying like, do what we tell you to do or else you're going to jail. And here's some guys with guns coming to your house, give us some money so we can do what we want to do with it. And I saw a meme yesterday, and it's not a new meme, but it's kind of relevant to today. And it was something on the lines of like, if it's not voluntary, then it's coercion, then it's authoritarian. And I think few people understand this. They think they're doing something beneficial to society, because it's like, we're paying for our fair share of society and the government's going to do what's best for us. And it's like, no, they're literally stealing from you and you have no say in the process. So if it's not voluntary, then it's coercion. And I think we should double down on that meme more often and really try to separate the idea that your government should work for you. Like, they are a business. You are its customer. This is how it should be. But of course, we don't live in a world of should have, could have, would have. We live in this world right now where the powers that be have the guns, they have the money, and they can basically throw you in a cage if you don't agree with them. Well, Bitcoin is taking away that power. And of course, it's not happening as quick as everyone wants to, but there will be roads, guys. Do not fret. The roads will be built because people need to go places. Actually, I say it all the time, governments are incompetent. Like, bureaucrats are more incompetent than the free market. So I can only imagine that the roads will be better on the Bitcoin standard, because people will realize, hey, I need to go from point A to point B. And on that note, I'm in Dallas right now, and the toll roads out here, you pay for them, and they're so much better than the public roads. And it's like, this is the future that you're going for. Yeah, you don't get free road access, but hey, get to where you want to.
It's not free though.
That's of course.
Yeah,
that's
the whole
free,
thing. It's
free
like
road
it's
access.
free. Like, it's
exactly,
not free.
It's free.
Free education. It ain't free,
yeah.
bro.
And the roads are better, and you get there quicker. Like, everything is a service, man. Jump in, Sean.
Yeah. I just want to say, when you look at these questions, these are the type of questions that we all get when people talk about Bitcoin, right? They go, well, what would happen if there's a big crisis and we need to print a bunch of money? And so I think, it's like all of these questions are backwards. And what it really shows to me is most people want to live in a proof of stake society where everything is just provided to them. There's no responsibility. There's no freedom either. And so when you live in a proof of work society, you actually have to work for what you want, and you have to think about what you want in the future, and you plan for the future. And it's not just like, oh, we go from one crisis to another crisis to another crisis. No, it's you're planning out not just your life, but you're planning out future generations that are going to build off of what you've built. And so that's what I look at in El Salvador. They're building a society that's proof of work, where people aren't afraid to work and they're willing to work in whatever opportunity they get. And here in the United States, at least where I am, it's kind of amazing. We have the most opportunities probably out of any country, and you have the most amount of people that don't want to work. And so it just goes to beg the question of, why are there so many people that want to just get things for free? And why are there people that are in worse situations that are willing to work for the things that they want and are willing to work hard? And so I think that's the difference between a lot of these societies and these, a lot of people's mentalities is, who's going to build the roads? Well, if you need the road, or if I need the road, then I'll build the road. That's who will build the road. It's that simple.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And then again, like, it's like as if like that thing, because it's almost as if it goes over their head, right? Like, look, like, so you need a road to get from A to B, right? So you would think that, okay, maybe I should invest in this road, because if not, I'm not going to be able to get to A to B.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's just, it's incentives. But I think this is really, and I'm always going to bring it back to Bitcoin. I really think that this is what makes Bitcoin so special, because the way that it's architect, it doesn't allow that interventionism. It doesn't allow that central authority to kind of dictate it. And because it doesn't allow that, it's proving every block, every 10 minutes, TikTok next block, it's proving that an incentive-based system could stand on its own 2 feet without anything trying to stop it or anything trying to interact with it. And I think that's why this whole Bitcoin experiment, this whole Bitcoin thing is really putting the fear of God into a lot of the central planners. I think that's why you see the legacy corporate media freak out the way they are. Because if it does prove that there's not only that there's an alternative, but it proves that there's a better alternative, they're in trouble. They're in very, very big trouble. And you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say one other thing that she said too was, well, who pays for the roads already? Like right now, who pays for them? And he goes, we all pay for them. It's like, okay, well then maybe we would find a system where it incentivizes everybody, and we would all pay for the roads in a different way. And instead of trusting one central entity, there would be a lot more transparency. There would be a lot more things that we could see where our money is actually going. And, these politicians just wouldn't pay their friends these fat bonus checks on top of building the roads as well. And I think that is the big issue.
100%.
Well, also just to double down, I mean, I think people forget that there were roads before 1913 and the Federal Reserve was existing. Like, there's always been roads, and there always will be roads.
That's impossible. That's misinformation. That's misinformation.
There's roads that are in Europe that have been around for like 1,000 years.
Oh man! All right, everybody, let's jump into the news. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's check it out.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air gap security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more. All right, everybody. I also made it very incredibly easy for you. You could literally scan the QR code on your screen right now, pull up your phone, take the camera app out, and it will take you directly to the Foundation Devices website where you can get yourself a Passport hardware wallet, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Let's start off the news strong with Opti's ex-girlfriend. She is once again trying to out-meme Opti. I don't think she's winning. Here's a tweet by Christine Lagarde, head of the European Central Bank herself. At the ECB, our mission is price stability. Our fight is against inflation. Our key tool is interest rates. We decide to raise interest rates again to reinforce progress and win the battle against inflation. Clearly, that trip with Opti in the French Riviera did not go as planned. Anyways, this is the definition of gaslighting. There's also a video of Justin Trudeau literally blaming supermarket stores for the recent price increases, for the inflation. And again, once what you're seeing is they're willing to blame anything and everything but themselves, even though they're the ones who are responsible for this in the first place. So let's play the first video by Christine Lagarde, and then we'll play you guys the video from Justin Trudeau. Let's check it out.
The ECB, our mission is price stability. Our fight is against inflation. Our key tool under the circumstances is interest rates. So I took the opportunity of today's meeting at the Eurogroup to brief ministers about the decision that the ECB Governing Council took yesterday. And as you know, we decided to raise interest rates again by 25 basis points to reinforce progress in order to reach our target and win the battle against inflation. The ECB...
You printed money. You printed money. You caused this. Moving on to the video by Justin Trudeau. Let's take a look at what he has to say. Let's see who he blames.
It's not okay that our biggest grocery stores are making record profits while Canadians are struggling to put food on the table. So Minister Champagne will be calling on the heads of large grocers to come to Ottawa with a plan to address the rising cost of food. And we expect to hear from them by Thanksgiving on what their plan is to stabilize prices. And And let me be very clear. If their plan doesn't provide real relief for the middle class and people working hard to join it, then we will take further action, and we are not ruling anything out, including tax measures.
Remember what Ayn Rand said in the beginning, right? Remember the gaslighting by Opti's ex-girlfriend, Christine Lagarde. And I would, normally I would diffuse it, and Opti and I would, go back and forth and tell you exactly why they're the ones who are responsible for this issue in the first place, central banks and governments. But I'll let Tucker do it because I think Tucker will do a much better job in 55 seconds explaining the bullshit coming out of Justin Trudeau and explaining the BS coming out of Christine Lagarde. Let's check it out.
For politicians, money is power. They always crave more. But because they don't actually produce anything, they've got limited ways to get it. They can hike taxes on the population and collect the cash at gunpoint. That's the most straightforward way. But it's also highly unpopular. Voters don't like paying higher taxes. They resent it. So over time, most politicians in most places decide it's a lot easier to devalue the currency. You keep the tax rate pretty much the same, you just print more money. At first, most people don't even notice that it's happening. The money seems free. This is how the US government just paid for the COVID checks and the war in Ukraine and pretty much everything else that Washington has done for the past couple of decades. Just churn out more dollars. You can see why it's a popular strategy. But what happens if you keep doing it year after year? We really ought to know. So to find out, we flew to Argentina.
What is happening in Argentina? Argentina is currently dealing with more than 100% inflation. So the gaslighting coming out of politicians, the gaslighting coming out of central bankers, absolutely taking no responsibility for something that they are solely responsible for. It's a lot easier to blame other things. It's a lot easier to blame the pandemic. It's a lot easier to blame Russia. But they're the sole cause of what happened. They're the sole cause of millennials and Gen Zers not being able to afford homes. They're the sole cause of 61% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. It was the money printing. And you're over the target when all the legacy corporate media is focusing on El Salvador, focusing on Argentina, rather than focusing on what the actual cause of all of this is. It's like, it's so obvious. And Tucker, who was the most famous legacy corporate media broadcasters by far, 3.5 million average views per episode, he got fired. I think that tells you everything you need to know about what happens when you don't toe the party line. Anyways, moving on to today's news, I want to cover this real quickly, and then we'll get Sean Harris and Opti's take on all this. So to address the name of the episode, the title of today's episode, this is a bill that we've been covering for quite a while now. But what was really interesting is that recently, Senator Warren managed to get 9 new co-sponsors to her anti-crypto bill, all Democrats. This does not change the trajectory of the bill, as most of these co-signers were expected. But pay attention. This is like not a joke. And if you happen to live in one of these states, remember, we are you going to vote for the party of fiat, the party of green, the party of slavery, or are you going to vote for the party of orange? It's not a Republican or Democrat thing. It's not a left versus right thing. It's a freedom versus slavery thing. It's just as simple as that. So you have Tina Smith from Minnesota. You have Angus King from Maine. You have Janine Shaheen from New Hampshire. You have Bob Casey from Pennsylvania. You have Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut. You have Michael Bennett from Colorado. And you have Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. So keep in mind, if you're from any of those states, your senator is actively trying to sabotage Bitcoin in the United States. Keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get to what this bill encompasses, what it's about. Here's an article from Decrypt, and I think it does a great job. So the title for our audio listeners is Elizabeth Warren's Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act gets 9 new sponsors. It goes on to say, U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren has secured the support of 9 other senators for her Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act, boosting her efforts to tackle the perceived risks posed by cryptocurrencies. According to a press release on Warren's official website, Democratic senators, which I just read you a lot of them, as well as independent senator, has joined the coalition supporting the bill. Quote, crypto is enabling rogue nations, drug lords, ransomware gangs, and fraudsters to launder billions in stolen funds, evade sanctions, fund illegal weapons programs, and profit from devastating cyber attacks. I'm going to flip that on its head. Fiat is enabling rogue nations, drug lords, ransomware gangs, and fraudsters to launder billions in stolen funds, evade sanctions, fund illegal weapons programs, and profit from devastating cyber attacks. I bet you, if you did a side-by-side comparison, what is enabling more, fiat or crypto? I guarantee you it would be fiat. So this is a straw man argument. This is a boogeyman argument. They did the same thing back in 2001 with the Patriot Act. It was horrific what happened in the United States, but you cannot deny at this point that the government used that as a justification to take away Americans' freedoms, of which they've never given those freedoms back. They've never repealed the Patriot Act. They've kept on that power. They've kept on to that power. And you can make the argument that they've now weaponized a lot of that power against the American people as well, right? So forgive me for not believing the bullshit. That I am highly skeptical. Anyways, it goes on to say, Warren described the Digital Asset Anti-Money Laundering Act as, quote, the toughest bill on the table, cracking down on crypto's illicit use and giving regulators more tools in their toolbox. Adding that to the expanded coalition shows that Congress is now ready to take action. First introduced in December last year and resubmitted in August 2023, along with Senators Joe Manchin, Roger Marshall, and Lindsey Graham. By the way, Lindsey Graham is a Republican, which is why I tell you guys it's not left versus right. It's not Democrat versus Republican. It is the party of green, the party of fiat, versus the party of orange, the party of Bitcoin and freedom. Anyways, the bill aims to close regulatory loopholes and bring the digital asset ecosystem into greater compliance. If passed, it would extend the regulatory framework that applies to traditional financial institutions to cryptocurrency firms, subjecting them to KYC and anti-money laundering requirements outlined in the Bank Secrecy Act. Remember, the Bank Secrecy Act, which was originally passed in 1971, required for any $10,000 transaction or above to be reported to the government. Back when they passed that law, back in 1971, if you adjust $10,000 for inflation, it's roughly $70,000 to $80,000 today, right? That number remained exactly the same. And remember what the Biden administration tried to pass last year in the so-called infrastructure bill. It would have required any transaction over $600 to be reported to the government. So forgive me for my skepticism. Anyways, this includes digital asset wallet providers, miners, and validators. So did you hear that last part? Did you hear what it said? It will require digital asset wallet providers, meaning KYCing wallets, KYCing miners, and KYCing nodes. Is that feasible? Is that possible? This is essentially a de facto ban. And again, this isn't just Nico or Simply Bitcoin saying this. This is Pierre Richard, VP of Research at Riot Platforms, one of the largest publicly traded mining companies in the United States. He's saying it himself. If passed, this bill would ban Bitcoin mining in the United States. So make no mistake, this is Elizabeth Warren and a lot of other senators trying to ban Bitcoin in the United States. Why? Well, I played you the clip from Tucker. I played you the clip from Christine Lagarde. I played you the clip, I forget, from Justin Trudeau. Bitcoin is a threat to the status quo. It takes away the privilege of being able to print money for free that everyone else has to work for. It keeps going. The article says cracking down on non-custodial wallets. The document aims to take action against non-custodial or unhosted crypto wallets. I don't know about you guys, but I never remember hearing the word unhosted in the Bitcoin white paper. Take a look at the wording. Wording is very powerful. Unhosted, right? It's trying to convey that a hosted wallet is the norm. Why would they want a hosted wallet as the norm? Because they can co-opt intermediaries. They can co-opt banks. They did this in the 6102 order. The reason that they were able to do that is that the vast majority of people's gold was being custodied at banks. But what happens when millions upon millions of individuals are taking self-custody of their wealth? It becomes incredibly difficult to pass a 6102 order and enforce it. They don't want you taking self-custody. So this is why they include this type of language, this type of rhetoric. It's very important that you identify it, that you're aware of it. Anyways, it goes on to say, which are described as software or hardware that facilitates the storage of public or private keys used to digitally sign or securely transact digital assets, such that the stored value is the property of the wallet owner and the wallet owner has total independent control over the value. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Holding 12 words is dangerous. It's clear and present danger. It is bad. It's bad for democracy. It's a danger for democracy. It's a danger to America. You cannot write down 12 fucking words on a piece of paper. Anyways, Warren's legislation comes down to banks and money service businesses being required to verify customer and counterparty identities, keep records, and file reports in relation to certain digital asset transactions involving unhosted wallets or wallets hosted in jurisdictions that are not BSA compliant. According to the bill, U.S. residents with more than $10,000 in crypto in one or more accounts outside of the country would also be required to submit reports. Quote, all too often, crypto is used to move illicit funds for drug cartels, criminal gangs, terrorist groups, and kidnappers, said Senator Graham. Our legislation will help create transparency and provide oversight in an industry that in many cases helps facilitate criminal activity. When it comes to transparency and legality, many of the same rules that apply to the dollar should exist to crypto. So, I mean, like I don't even know what to say when these are the same people that these are the same people that are sending literally billions of dollars to Ukraine. Are those billions of dollars being, are they being audited? Where are they going? Are they held to the same? Are they held to the same standards? Take a look at this article from Yahoo. The Pentagon's $35 trillion accounting black hole. Remember the other day when there was an article that said that, we messed up on the accounting. We actually sent $11 million more to Ukraine, but they want to know what you do with every single penny. I don't know, man. I went a little bit hard in the paint today, but I just got to say, this is a crock of bullshit. And Elizabeth Warren definitely wants you to be a slave without a shadow of a doubt. Elizabeth Warren definitely wants to destroy Bitcoin. She won't be able to, but she could definitely make your life a lot harder, especially if you're living in the United States. So pay attention to this, because this is real, and take note of all of those senators. And if you happen to live in those states, vote them out. They are against you. They are against Bitcoin, and therefore they are against freedom. Anyways, Opti, What's your take on all this, bro?
Yeah, well, as I always say, can't ban Bitcoin. You can only ban yourself from Bitcoin. So, good thing anything Elizabeth Warren touches dies. So we'll see how this goes eventually. But it is very concerning that more people are attaching their names to this bill. But of course, as we like to say, anyone that does actively fight Bitcoin is actively anti-freedom and should be shamed. And I'll stop there because I would say go back to some early American traditions, but I'm not going to go down that path. You guys can connect the dots on that one. But, I'm kind of conflicted on this one because on the one hand, it really makes me wonder how they could even try to roll this stuff out. And of course is it also makes me think of the meme that all of us Bitcoiners always say, Bitcoin is winning, Bitcoin is inevitable. And it just makes me double down on the idea that we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of education to go out there. We're still going up against the great Leviathan, and there will be a lot of obstacles. It's not going to be as straightforward path as we would want it to be. The unproductive parasite class are not going to give up their power. And of course, they're going to roll out the same low-hanging fruit examples or negatives of money laundering and all that stuff. And it's used by criminals and all this stuff, when we all know the real criminals use the dollar. But on the other hand, more on the pessimistic field view, it's I'd just love to see them ban Bitcoin personally. Obviously it hurt us in the short term, but it just goes to show that the powers that be aren't as powerful as they think they are. It's kind of like I think it's the Star Wars one. It's you have no power here or whatever. And I mean, did they not remember that China banned Bitcoin mining and look what happened with that? So I think it would be very glorious and kind of fitting to see America try to ban Bitcoin mining and just show that they are incompetent and that they have no power here. It's yeah, you can try to ban it, but you're just hurting yourself and the American citizens that follow along with this. And furthermore, anytime a government bans Bitcoin or at least tries to ban Bitcoin, bans Bitcoin, it just goes to prove, it just further proves why you need Bitcoin in the first place. You want a money that is outside of their control, that is uncensorable, that they cannot debase because we know they get their money from the money printer. And that's why they want to continue to maintain that power of the fiat system. And so it's just on the one hand, of course, as a Bitcoiner, I want as least amount of friction as possible in regards to holding Bitcoin. I'd want our government to embrace Bitcoin. We are one of the world's economic powers. We have the Wall Street and all the capital in the US, and I'd love to see that flow freely into Bitcoin. Obviously, we know that that's most likely not going to happen, but the more governments try to ban Bitcoin, the more bullish I am on why we need Bitcoin in the first place. And then kind of going back to that price stability memes going on, it always reminds me of the Hegelian dialectic, create the problem and then offer the solution. And it's really just such Keynesian thinking of the powers that be, the small cabal of bankers and their bureaucrats that think they can control a complex system such as the economy. And oh, where did this inflation come from? We must blame the greedy corporate companies out there that are charging more prices. Hey guys, the world is getting more expensive because you are inflating away our purchasing power. It's not that difficult, but obviously they want to continue to obfuscate what the real problems are because they won't ever take accountability. So, on the one hand, it's you can't ban Bitcoin. On the other hand, it's I'd like to see you try. I'm never going to go back to fiat. I'm going to hold Bitcoin throughout it all. It is what it is. But, I don't have faith in Elizabeth Warren and anything she does. So hopefully this will also die on the floor.
And it will. Just to be very clear, the probability of this passing is it's extremely low, right? They obviously don't have enough support, but just be aware. Stay on your tippy toes, stay on guard. I forget where the quote, it was a quote from a Bitcoin developer. It's the worst thing that Bitcoiners could do is think that we're just going to win by default, right? It really falls down to you as an individual to educate the people around you and really to wake them up to what's going on. I truly believe that. And maybe you could say that Bitcoin's going to win by default because its incentives are so great. But I'll tell you what, they could definitely make your life a living hell during the transition period, for sure. That I could say that without a shadow of a doubt. So yeah, man. Anyways, Big Sean, what's your take on all this, brother?
I think, it's just you can see that there's a lot of people, or a few amount of people, that want to keep their hold on all the power. And that's what Bitcoin provides, is power back to each one of us individually. And so because Bitcoin can't be controlled, there are people who know that fiat can be controlled, and they want to siphon the money to themselves. They want to siphon it to their friends. And that's the whole reason why you would want to ban Bitcoin. If you really understood what Bitcoin was, and if you had a good heart, then you would want more people to adopt it. You would want Bitcoin to win. And the only reason why you'd want it to lose is because you know that you're going to lose money and you're going to lose power when Bitcoin comes into play. And it just goes back to what we were saying earlier. There's a proof of stake people and there's a proof of work people. And the proof of stake people don't want to work for their money. They want to be put into a position where they stake their power, and they continue to get power because of their titles and whatever else it might be. But the people who are willing to work, then they let the free market take care of it. They say, if my genius, if my intelligence, if my hard work pays off, then I'll win. And that puts everyone at a fair playing field. And that's what's so beautiful about Bitcoin, is it doesn't matter about who your daddy is or who your mommy is. It doesn't matter what your title is or what politician rank you are. It just matters what you do and what your work is. And if your work is good, then you get rewarded for it. And if your work is bad, then you don't. And it's that simple. And I think that's the beautiful part about Bitcoin, is it doesn't matter that Michael Saylor has, hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin or whatever, how much that Bitcoin he has. And, and you may have one or none. You still have the same power over the network. But someone who's in power, like Elizabeth Warren, she has so much power over the dollar network. And someone like us has no power over it. And so that it just flips the whole system, and it makes it fair for the individual. And the one more thing I'll say is the way they'll try to ban Bitcoin, and notice she only said crypto. She actually didn't even say Bitcoin. But the way that they'll try to ban Bitcoin and that people will fall for it is because they're talking about the unhosted wallets, right? Like self-custody, as Opti says, self-custody is the revolution. And so the way that they'll get people to not self-custody is they'll say, oh, you could lose your Bitcoin forever. This is a way to protect you. We'll have customer service. We'll have someone who will have your backup password. But the whole question that we always ask ourselves is, if I don't have control, and that's what it said in that article, total control over their own money, over their own value. If I don't have control over my money, is it even my money? And it's not. So you have to have control over your money. There can't be a trusted third party involved. And if there is, then it's not your money. It's permission to you if they let you use it.
100%, 100%. And dude, you hit the nail on the head. Like, and I've told this to Opti, and I've said this many times on Simply Bitcoin. There's two attack vectors. There's the attack on miners, which I don't think will be successful just because the incentives are too strong. But I think the more successful attack that's going to happen is the attack on self-custody. And they're going to do exactly what Big Sean said, which is why a lot of people are celebrating this spot Bitcoin ETF. That's a double-edged sword, because people are going to get comfortable buying it on their Charles Schwab account or Robinhood account, say, oh, I have Bitcoin. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have an IOU. Someone else is holding, quote unquote, your Bitcoin. It's not yours until you take self-custody, which is why we recommend, properly securing your backup wallet seed words, get yourself a stamp seed, get yourself a hardware wallet like the Passport from Foundation. It's awesome. Take self-custody of your Bitcoin. That's how you do it. And, get yourself a node if you don't want to trust someone else's node, right? And obviously, we recommend the Start 9. Anyways, before we move on to the culture to talk about culture things, I want to give a very big shout out to our sponsor, Kaboom Racks. Kaboom Racks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners, the most trusted place. You got to check out the racks. If you have any questions, doubts, or concerns, you could hit up these guys. They're on Bitcoin Twitter. You can join their Telegram. That's where you're going to find the best deals on Bitcoin miners. You definitely want to check these guys out. If you are interested in getting into Bitcoin mining, check out Kaboom Racks. Check out their racks. You could scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Kaboom Racks website. Anyways, everybody, let's get to the culture.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. All right, guys, I also want to give a shout out to our other sponsor, Bitcoin 2024. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, July 25th through the 27th, the largest Bitcoin conference on the face of the earth. For a GA pass, it's $349. For an industry pass, it's $849. For a whale pass, it's $4,749. You don't want to miss the biggest Bitcoin celebration of the year. It's not going to be in Miami. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, July 25th through the 27th. 2024, Bitcoin 2024. Anyways, Opti, speaking of other events, I am super fucking hyped for the Bitcoin halving party thrown by our brothers in arms at the Meme Factory that supposedly does not exist. How are you guys throwing a party if you guys don't exist? How does that work?
Dude, it's a lot of hard work, but even though we don't exist, I think a lot of people just have been wanting to go to El Salvador. Obviously, we're throwing the Bitcoin party in El Salvador. We have a lot of participants, as you're seeing right here, and it's just going to be a good time, right? I think the biggest thing that we try to harp on is you're going to get to go to El Salvador, experience this country for the first time, because a lot of people, there's about, I listen to Max and Stacy a lot, and, best legs in Bitcoin and the best hair in Bitcoin with Max and Stacy. And they've talked a lot about how there's over 100 people a month move into El Salvador. And I think a lot of people want to see what it's like down there. What is the first Bitcoin country really like? And they just haven't had the opportunity to make it down there. They haven't had the chance to, what am I going to do when I'm down there? Who am I going to hang out with? And so, when I first got into Bitcoin, I was really excited. And then leading up into the halving of 2020, I got really excited for that halving. And what went on, it was just like watching Pomp crack open a beer on YouTube, and it sucked. And I was like, we got to do something better for the halving. And I'm not a dev. None of us at the Meme Factory, we're not software developers. So we do what we can do, right? And we like to meme, we like to party. And so we decided to do the halving party. And it's not an event, that happens once every year. So potato. So we really do our work to make sure, right? This is going to be once every 4 years. And this is the first one of its kind. And it's going to be in El Salvador. It's going to be with the plebs. There will be some big names there. Flood Greg Zadge's DMs because he loves that. And Greg is a potato. But more than anything, just come to El Salvador. It's going to be so much fun because it's going to be unlimited food, unlimited drinks. It's an affordable price, and it's just going to be a blast. And if you use code SIMPLY, you do get 10% off. So
that's right, guys. And it's in every video description. If you guys go to the video description where it says Bitcoin conference discounts, you'll see the Bitcoin halving party with the link to the website, and you can use promo code SIMPLY to get a discount to the Bitcoin halving party, which I'm super, super hyped about. I think it's going to be awesome. Opti and I will be there. It's going to be a grand old time. Maybe we do a Simply Bitcoin live from the hotel on next to the pool. Maybe. Yes. I'm feeling it. I think we're going to do it, Opti.
I'm feeling it. And
I'm up for it.
I see a question. What city is it in? It's about an hour from El Zonte, which is Bitcoin Beach. And it's at this resort called Royal de Cameron. Everyone's going to be at this one resort. And so you're going to be able to hang around a lot of Bitcoiners, talk and network. There's always new ideas and new businesses being built when you got Bitcoiners hanging around with each other. To me, the best thing, when I got into Bitcoin, another thing that was hard for me was, I kind of felt like I was crazy, right? Like I felt like, hey, no one in my life understands this. I'm talking to a lot of people about it. They don't care. They don't want to understand it. And so then when I got onto Twitter, that was when it was like, oh, there's actually people who understand what's going on and they're paying attention and they care. And then when I started going to meetups, it just took it to a whole nother level. And so meeting people is, in my opinion, meeting Bitcoiners, it really does spark a lot of thought. And that's the whole, that's what we're trying to do, is get more thought out there, get people to understand what's going on. How many people have heard of Bitcoin now? Everyone that I know knows about Bitcoin, and most of them, they still don't even know what the halving is, And so I'm like, okay, well, let's do this. Let's do a halving party. If you can understand what the halving is, that helps you understand a little bit more about the cycles in Bitcoin. It helps you understand why the price goes up, why it goes down. It helps you understand a ton about Bitcoin and the scarcity more than anything. And so there's so much that people need to learn. And I think by just having a party and celebrating this bear market we've gone through, this bull market we're going to enter into, it's going to be so much fun. There's going to be a lot of games. There's going to be some Bitcoin cash prizes. And so come on down, bring your family.
Wait. You said Bitcoin cash prizes?
Wait, what? Let's make them full screen.
Bitcoin prizes, not in cash, not Bitcoin.
No,
no, not Bitcoin cash, just Bitcoin prizes. Right. So have a good time. You will have a great time when you're down in El Salvador. I've been down there. We went up and down the coast looking for the best resort, and we found it, and it's going to be awesome. So come enjoy us. That's going to be April 3rd through the 5th, and go to bitcoinhalvingparty.com to check it out.
Let's go. Yeah. There was one more question in the chat, Sean. People were asking about the prices. So like, what's the deal? They just get a hotel room and they're part of the halving party, or like how's this working out? What's the logistics?
Yeah. So the logistics are, go to bitcoinhalvingparty.com. You buy your ticket, use the code simply, that'll get you 10% off. We've been selling tickets since May, and we're about halfway filled up right now. So tickets have just been flying off. And then on top of that, we'll give you instructions on how to book the hotel. We have the whole resort booked out for us, over about 500 rooms. And so we have the whole hotel reserved for us. And they said this is the fastest. We've been working with them, and they've been doing this for about 14 years. They said this is the fastest that any event has ever been booked out. So
hell yeah.
They're really happy with us. We're really happy with them. And then once you have your ticket and your room, book your flight, come to El Salvador. If you're not already living in El Salvador, come to El Salvador. And we have people coming from all over the world, from Australia already, from Sweden, from Canada, the US, other countries in Europe, obviously Latin America, Africa. So we really do have people coming from all over the world. And it's just going to be a place where plebs can meet up and enjoy what we have, this special thing called Bitcoin. And I'm grateful, I'm grateful that for one reason or another, I was able to go down this rabbit hole. And so it's been good for me to feel like, hey, I can give back to Bitcoin and the Meme Factory in general. We're all excited to be able to give back to Bitcoin. It's not just me. This is the whole Meme Factory, and we're really excited to put our little touch on Bitcoin. We did the laser eyes, and now that we have our podcast, but this is another big thing. Getting a lot of people together is just going to be so much fun, and we're going to have a lot of people there and a lot of surprises. So just stay ready for them.
Hell yeah, man, dude. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome, guys. By the way, I think we hit an all-time high of viewers on Rumble. I saw it 60 live viewers on Rumble. We would get hyped. Remember, Opti? Just getting 60 viewers on YouTube back in the day. So for you guys on Rumble, we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Wait, couple more questions, Nico.
Wait, hold on. Guys, if you're enjoying the show, hold on a second. I got you.
No.
All right. If you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to smash the like button. It really, really helps with the YouTube algos. We're currently at 163. If you're watching on Rumble, smash the like button. If you're watching on Twitter, smash the like button. Really, really helps. And guys, we stream Monday through Friday, rain or shine, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So for whatever reason, if you can't find us on YouTube, you can find us on Rumble. You can find us on Twitter. And of course, all the podcasting platforms, whatever floats your boat, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, whichever one you prefer. Anyways, Opti, what are you going to say?
Yeah. So Rope wants to know, Sean, is Yellow and Labra going to be there?
Yellow and Labra, Of course they're gonna be there. Yes, they're.
Oh, wait. Hold on. We got Roman. He's saying the Simply code is not working.
Try capital S. Try capital S, sir.
Yeah, capital
S.
Yeah, so type it in exactly how it is in the description, everybody. So it's at capital SIMPLY.
Yeah.
Okay, and last question before we move on, Sean. This is something you've told me behind the scenes. And just to be clear, guys, besides, of course, the live Simply Bitcoin poolside chat or whatever we're potentially doing, this isn't going to be like a conference. There's not going to be speakers. This is a party. This is a celebration.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be, it's not, a typical conference where most conferences you go up and there's just so many speakers and it becomes a lobby con, right? And so with the having party, yes, there will be a couple of workshops, right? BTC sessions, he'll be down there. We want to have some workshops where people can learn how to self-custody. We've been talking with Hodl Tarantula, and we want to have some workshops where people can learn how to mine Bitcoin and do different things like that. We may have one day. I think we're looking at maybe just one day or a half day of speakers. Other than that, there'll just be games. There'll be food. We have our own private beach. There's pools. Get to know people. That's the biggest thing is we want to provide opportunities where people can come down to El Salvador. They can meet people that maybe they haven't met in real life before. They can hang out with new friends and meet new friends. They can toss ideas around and just enjoy El Salvador. And I always recommend to people, hey, come on down and check out Bitcoin Beach as well. Check out El Zonte, check out San Salvador, go to Santa Ana, where the volcano is. Go to a lot of different places in El Salvador. Don't just come to the having party, but make it a full trip. And we want you to come to the having party for a couple of days and then go out and enjoy the rest of El Salvador as well. And maybe you'll meet friends and be able to do some things together as well down there. So that's my goal, is we can just bring people to El Salvador, see what it's like. It's fun to go and you just go and hey, can I pay with this in Bitcoin? And people don't laugh at you. They either say, yeah, we accept Bitcoin here. Or they say, oh, we don't accept it yet, right? One or the other. And so learn a little bit of Spanish and have a good time. Maybe you need to learn how to say, do you accept Bitcoin in Spanish? And it'll be fun. It's just going to be a lot of fun down there.
Oof, man, I'm so excited. Opti and I we're joking. We're saying we're going to try to hold it down here in the US, but if all else fails, we're going to move to El Salvador, maybe change the name to Simplemente Bitcoin. Simplemente Bitcoin, exactly.
Oh, there it is.
Boom. It's already on screen. Opti's manifesting it. All right, guys, let's get to the best part of the show. We do have a meme lord here with us, Big Sean Harris. So let's get to the meme review.
The Daily Meme Review.
All right. First and foremost, before we get to the memes, guys, this is the meme review where you guys tag us in memes, either Simply Bitcoin TV, or you can tag my personal account.
Is this from the Telegram group?
This is from the Telegram group.
Okay, wait. I have to give a shout out to the Telegram group.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Okay. Or tag me at Optimus Fields. I will get to it. Our notifications on our Simply Bitcoin TV Twitter is blowing up. So whatever works best, tag your favorite memer or tag your meme and I will look at it. And then of course you can drop it in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcointv. And I look in there every morning, but you guys are just posting the memes. I need the Twitter account so that I can give them their honors on these memes.
We are at 71. Okay. Yesterday we were at 65.
Let's go.
Literally go to t.me/simplybitcointv. It's free. Join the Telegram group. It's literally a fucking... Someone posted something new.
Oh, there's a new version. Okay. All right, hold on.
Anyways.
Okay,
just join our Telegram group. It's free. It helps us get to 1,000.
Shouts out to Darth Coin. Apparently everyone is loving Nico's blue blockers. He's getting hot.
Okay, should I turn it up a notch, bro? Should I turn
go
it
to
up a notch?
orange blockers. Okay, so this is Darth Coin. He's our mod in our Telegram group. And he goes, "Hey, yo, Opti, what happened in the SB studios? Now we have Nico G and Ollie G together." Yo, win Durag and yellow coat, Nico.
Durag. Oh, now they're orange, bro. Now they're orange glasses.
All right, there you go. Now he's in there. Okay, all right. I added this. This literally dropped during the show, and I was like, all right, this needs to get added to the meme review. All right, next meme is by Crypto Mayor ED. And I wanted to add this one because it's kind of been a constant theme here, and it's kind of cute, but it's also pretty savage. And we got this little kitty here, and he goes, "Hey, stop scrolling." And his eyes come up and say, 1 second, please wait. And then there's a cat with like a bear hat, and he goes, "I just wanted to let you know that the government is your enemy, and I love you." Yes, highly. Double down on this one. Highly agree. Okay, this next one is by John X Osterman on Twitter, and he goes, #Bitcoin only. And we got your ex-girlfriend here looking at your phone, and she goes, when she looks through your phone, but all she can find is Bitcoin memes, and she's so disappointed because she was hoping you were cheating, but now she knows you're just some crazy person on the internet, micro niche celebrity on the internet, only talking about Bitcoin. She probably already knows this anyways. This next meme is by Max's Club, and he goes, 523 TikTok, and he goes, Bitcoiners waiting for the halving. And we got a normie here, and he goes, you've changed. And we got a Bitcoiner and Bitcoin Zen in El Salvador going, you wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it. Even though I tried to explain to you what the halving is, why it's important, why we're going to El Salvador, you still don't get it, even though I am in Bitcoin Zen. Okay, this next one is by Wojak Bitcoin. And I love this one because there is so many critics out there saying that Bitcoiners are stupid. Remember, we've been called what? We've been called 80 IQ. We've been called illiterate Bitcoiners, financial terrorists, all of the words. And it gets summed up perfectly here. And we got Nassim Taleb, and he goes, Bitcoin is useless. It's a Ponzi scheme, a tumor, and a detector of imbeciles. And then we got William, creator of Nostr. I built a decentralized social network on top of the Bitcoin Lightning Network. We have, I don't know who this one is. We have some other dude says, I use Bitcoin mining to monetize flared natural gas that would otherwise be released into the atmosphere. We have Jack Mallers. I founded a company that helps people send remittances globally, instantly, and cheaply with Bitcoin. We have Sailor. I use Bitcoin to preserve the wealth of my billion-dollar company. We have Nayib Bukele. With Bitcoin, my country can escape U.S. dollar hegemony. It's almost like Bitcoin works, and it's almost like Bitcoin is saving people out there. But, you know, the people in the West, the intellectual yet idiots, a.k.a. Nassim Talebs, just can't see what's right in front of them. It is what it is. This next meme is by Plan Marcus, a.k.a. @Plan_Marcus, and he goes, it is what it is. I just said that. #Bitcoin. And we got this giant, I forget what he's like, a bodybuilder. He's a freaking Viking in real life. And he goes, talking Bitcoin with my friends and family, and he's just bigger than everyone else and, you know, just full Chad mode. And then talking Bitcoin with Bitcoiners. And I think this is his brothers, and he's smaller than his brothers. They must be absolute units. But this is how it feels like. And this is what the halving party is going to be like. Like in your normal everyday life, you know, you're the crazy Bitcoiner. You're way ahead of the curve. And then when you talk to Bitcoiners, you just realize like, wait, I know nothing. I'm an absolute idiot. These guys are so smart. Okay. Next meme is by Count on Bitcoin. And he goes, we're moving to Nostr. And I think you guys saw, so there is a community note here, but apparently, you know, Elon Musk said that Twitter will become fully paid. They will move to an economic model of a small monthly payment to use X, and everyone's like, pack your crap up. We're moving to Nostr. It's almost like Twitter is suiciding itself and shooting themselves in the foot and making the platform just unusable, and no one's going to want to use it. So I guess maybe we're all going to do a mass migration to Nostr, and maybe this time it'll stick, even though we always leave for another platform and we always end up back on Twitter. I don't know. Whatever. And this last one, shouts out to my boy over at Orange Label, aka @label_orange. And he goes, don't fall for the psyops. Also, have fun. And we have, Pepe the Frog in the psyop, in the brainwashing. Guys, do not get brainwashed out there. Unplug from the televisions. And why do I need to update my browser? What's going on here? Okay. All right. Whatever. Is my browser? Maybe it does. I don't know. What's going on here? What am I getting trolled here for? Okay. Drop your meme review score in the chat, and we will cover it live as I cover our scores live. Anyways, I got a wood hanger. The nice ones.
Oh, Okay. Wow. Classy.
Wait, it's made in Spain and Big Sean Harris.
Okay.
Man.
What type of where are you getting your hangers, Opti?
I think this is like a shirt that I bought and it came with it. I don't know.
Okay.
Fancy.
Very fancy. Okay. I'm going to give it filter number 2. Oh, I'm not relaxed anymore. There we go. Yeah.
I'm going to give those memes a pre-1913 private road. That's what I'm giving.
Wow.
Okay.
Meta score.
All right. That was a pretty good fucking score. All right, guys, put your meme scores in the chat. But before we get to it, yes, AJ 1991 is right. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the show. We are 15 likes away from breaking 200 likes on the live stream. So please smash that like button. Help us push the orange signal. Anyways, before we get to the scores, I want to give a shout out to Simply Bitcoin merch. We're dropping it. All you got to do is scan the QR code on your screen right now. It'll take you directly to Simply Bitcoin website, simplybitcoin.com. Get yourself some Simply Bitcoin merch. We got orange hoodies. We got t-shirts. We pay attention to detail. In the stitching, it literally says Bitcoin or slavery. So definitely check that out. It's pretty dope, the merch. I'm not going to lie. Anyways, everybody,
I'll get you the hat soon, Matthew. I'll get you the hat soon.
And we're working on the hats. Anyways, first
wait. This is the first one.
First one by HODLcoin. I give the memes open source software wallets and get effed.
Yes.
All right, next one. Phil C. I give the memes a stop payment check on the $25 billion going to the World Bank. Okay. John Pleb F Banks. I like that.
Oh man.
Elaine, Elizabeth Warren rejected by Opti, dejected and depressed. Opti, is that? Oh my God. Opti did it again. Bro. You're hitting on politicians now too?
Dude, I've been telling you my game plan. You guys think I'm joking? I want to get as close to the money printer as possible.
This is why there's so much inflation, because Opti's got so many X's.
No, I mean, Opti is...
They're doing it out of spite.
100%. The CBDCs are 100% Opti's fault.
Yeah. Just scorned women left and right.
No, and Augustine too. Don't forget about Augustine. Anyways, for the culture, Elizabeth Warren rejected by Opti, dejected and depressed. She leaves Congress for the reservation, but is rejected again. A private homeless entity supplies her cardboard fucks. Elaine, I don't think I've ever seen you so savage. I love it. Jonathan Greenhill says, I score the memes. Nico and Opti leaving Twitter for Nostr. We are on Nostr. We're on Nostr.
I'm literally posting more on Nostr than Twitter now.
I don't really on Nostr. I don't post on either. I have so much shit to do. I barely post. Yeah. I get some things out there here and then. Okay, Rope, rating the memes. Sean's special someone watching Zelly during the test stream.
She got mad.
Planet Earth
Wait, what?
For one slightly used F-35. Oh man, Igor, I give the memes to Leb's Pain.
Wait. That one.
Robert Vermoth, Secretary of the Treasury, Honorable Gary Glenser. Ooh, is that a foreshadowing? Dr. Surge, meme review is Road to Liberty. Love that. Son of Satoshi, meme score, Big Sean dancing with questionable Madrid girls. Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, we went out.
Okay. All right. We'll do this one. All
right. Ajax 1991. I give the memes. Opti's Simply Bitcoin dad hat. Okay.
Yes. Look, hold on. Before we move on, Matthew said, literally stop me mid text. I know exactly what you're going to write, bro. Give me some time. Lower your time preference.
4 more likes. Help us break 200. No, 5 more likes. Help us break 200 likes.
Sorry, Nico. Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish, but we will get you guys the hats. We'll make snapbacks. We will make dad hats for you guys. Just give me some time.
Just bear with us. Okay, we got another one. Meme score. Opti's Mexican heat. The boomer ladies can't. Oh man.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
enough.
guys.
That's enough internet for today.
That's enough internet for today. That's right. Guys, we hope you enjoyed the show. I'm your host, Nico. This is my legendary co-host, Optimus Fields. If you guys enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to help the peaceful Bitcoin revolution is share Bitcoin content. Share this content. Share the Meme Factory. They're dropping hot fire every once in a while too. And I want to give a shout out to our guest today, Big Sean Harris. Thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. And, find me at Big Sean Harris on Twitter and go to the bitcoinhavingparty.com and sign up. Remember, use code SIMPLY, capital S. And it's not the access code, it's the promo code. So maybe that's what happened. It's the promo code on the next page. So again, come to Having Party. And thanks, guys. Hardest working men in Bitcoin right here at Simply Bitcoin.
Appreciate it, Sean. Thank you so much for joining us today on Simply Bitcoin Live. All right, guys, seems like we did break 200 likes. It wouldn't be possible without all you guys. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Really helps with the YouTube algos. Guys, we love you all. We would not be here without you. Really appreciate you guys tuning in every day. Hope you guys find value in our content. But yeah, I'll say this before we migrate to Twitter Spaces, and hopefully Big Sean could join us. Take it seriously. I know we have a lot of fun and we take a lighthearted approach, and we do that on purpose. We like to entertain, but the stuff that we cover is serious, and what is happening today is very serious. And it truly is a future which you're going to have to choose between Bitcoin or slavery. And that is a choice not only for yourself, but also your children, your children's children, and your children's children's children moving forward. So what side of the football you want to be on? Where do you want to tell where do you want to tell your grandchildren 50 years from now what you were doing during the separation of money and state? I do believe with what Marty Bent is saying that we are going to win this, but we have to take it seriously. Take agency. Keep up the pressure with the memes. Keep up the pressure with the Bitcoin content. Be the Uncle Jim in your family. Orange pill the people around you, and stop. You can try to get people to stop fighting. It's not left versus right. I feel like that's the really, really useful divide and conquer strategy. Anyways, love you guys. I've really, really enjoyed today's show. We're going to be hosting a Twitter Spaces until 2 p.m. So if you want to join the after party, Opti is going to be holding it down. It's a co-hosted space with our friends over at Swan Bitcoin, best place to build your Bitcoin stack. Shout out to the best producer in the game, producer Jacob. We will see you guys tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin Live.
This guy gets it. Big Sean Harris is a legend. He, was a professional basketball player. Everything is basketball, but you can really tell that he's got that winning mentality in life, and that's the energy we like to spread on Simply Bitcoin, because it's almost low key. It's kind of been a running joke within the Simply Bitcoin company that Simply Bitcoin is transitioning into a lifestyle brand. Because we talk about health, we talk about getting your money right, we talk about building relationships and building things you want to see in the world. And I think Big Sean Harris